right, man. Today we get a chance to talk to our head football coach, Kevin Stefanski, on Dukes and Bell. That's going to happen at 4 o'clock, guys, as the combine is underway in Indianapolis. Obviously, Mike is here, Day, Big O, and we got a lot to get to. Steakhouse just had on, literally, as we come on to do our Behind the Curtain show, the general manager, Ian Cunningham. We're going to let you hear what he had to say for those of you who missed it later today. Thought it was very interesting, Mike. Owning what we already kind of knew, which was, hey, yeah, we're going to release Kirk Cousins. Did not say we're going to re-sign him, but it opens the door for Cousins to explore and do all the things we've talked about, and then we'll see what offers are out there. But he also talked about Kyle Pitts, and let's start there. We've got Braves news, Hawks in action tonight. No Trae Young, by the way. That has been confirmed. He's probably not playing tonight. But let's talk about this Kyle Pitts thing, because he said, look, he's young, and it gives us a chance to reevaluate, which is something I said. Take a year, man. Let's see what the new staff thinks about this. But I like the way Ian Cunningham is going about this, Mike. He's not BSing about, this stuff.
No, I mean, I think it's the franchise tag. The players hate it. We've discussed it because he wants to get that big signing bonus. We talked about what McBride just got from Arizona, but his effort has been uneven. Injuries. We talked about bad quarterback play. At the end of the day, this is perfect. This is perfect for the Falcons because I think that Kyle Pitts could be a perfect fit in a Stefanski offense. But there's no reason to give him a big contract with a guaranteed signing bonus. Let's go make him work, okay? Because the 5-year sample was uneven. I'm happy with this. He won't be happy with it. I think it's a great move for the Falcons. And Ian Cunningham, as you said, not BSing, man. Telling it like it is, saying, look, we're not re-signing Kirk Cousins, so no speculation there.
Yeah, I love that. Let's hope he operates this way because this is what we've been asking for. Look, some of this stuff is pretty blatantly obvious for fans at this point. You guys have more access than you've ever had, right? So you're on top of a lot of the stuff that you're thinking about or these GMs are talking about, unlike years past where you're like, oh, we got to wait till he speaks. We know what the deal is. I'm just glad he said it. Day, as far as the Cousins situation, I feel like this, again, potentially opens the door if they want to do something, again, with Cousins. I just don't see a lot of options for him unless he wants to go to one of these losing franchises. Right now, it doesn't feel like he could go to a winning situation and get what he wants, which is to be a full-time starter.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We talked about it last week. I mean, you look at the teams that, who are for sure going to probably be in quarterback situations, and you're talking about, the Jets, the Cardinals, I can't remember who else we had on that list. I think the Browns hadn't even been on there. Miami.
Yeah.
And you look at those rosters in comparison to what we have here in Atlanta, and to your point, Cousins said he wants to go somewhere where he knows he's got a chance to be a starter, but also compete for a championship. And I just don't see him doing that as a starter with any franchise that is going to be looking for a starter quarterback. So in my opinion, the best situation for him is, go test the market, see what's out there. But if you, come back and look at this Falcons roster, and I understand where his hesitancy will be. He wants to start. He doesn't want to come back and start for 4 or 5 games if that's the case. But at the same time, if Michael Penix is able to come in, look, dude, you're probably going to be getting a pretty nice check to be QB2. Right. And
the GM said they're not re-signing him. Day, the GM said we won't re-sign Kirk. He's gone. He's gone.
I know, but
he's gone. He's gone. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. He's not going to. You said it. He's not going to be the fill-in guy. He wants to start for a season. He gone. Oren?
Yeah, I just don't know where it happened.
I mean, to Mike's point, I think you're right. If you read between the lines of what he's saying there, it's Kirk wants another opportunity, and I think the Falcons are ready to move on for something different. It's just I don't know how comfortable I am in this new reality of not having a backup who has some veteran experience, and whatever's going to happen with Michael to start the season too. I'll be honest with you. I feel a whole lot better if Kirk was here than Kirk not being here. I don't know what the dollar value of that would look like, but it's for whatever happens with the Falcons quarterbacks going forward, Kirk is not going to be a part of that equation. So that's what I think Ian was just going ahead and let everybody know today that Kirk's future is with another NFL team, and that's what it is.
Yeah, when he said we owe him that was part of his comment today. that is the least thing that, as far as having some dignity and some truth in this, in relaying that message to him. My guess is they already knew this, but it's public now. Hey, man, it's Dukes and Bell. It's our Behind the Curtain show. Let's talk Braves, man, because today we find out Braves Vision is coming your way. What is Braves Vision? I'm not sure if they know exactly what Braves Vision is. I had a guy hit me up today. He said, open your wallet, Dukes. You got to pay for this. And, Mike, you're going to have to pay for this. Whether you're doing, MLB.com, however you're going to access these games, there will be a pay element to how to get the Braves this upcoming season.
Right. Again, big article today. Atlanta News First, Carl. Day and Oren had it. Again, the quote from the article says, the customer's direct-to-distributor model, channel locations availability will be announced. I don't know, because, for instance, I was talking to Carl before we came on here today. You've got Xfinity. I've got DirecTV. Do I get an option? Will they make a deal with DirecTV? Will they stick with the MLB package? Whereas, Oren, you pay a la carte, right, for the Braves right now. Is that going to be the easiest, simplest way to get it? For a lot of older folks, I guess the non-linear way will be an adjustment period. I know I bellyache Carl about streaming for years, so it may ruffle some feathers, but the Braves, if nothing else, will control the revenue from it. And they'll never compete with the Dodgers, but we've always talked about what a crappy TV deal. Perhaps if enough Braves fans do buy it, and I'm curious to see what the price point is going to be, then perhaps they get more revenue coming in.
Yeah. What was the price that you told me, Owen? What were you saying? What was the cost?
So for the service itself, if you just get the service by itself, it's going to be $19.99 a month. If you have MLB TV, you're grandfathered in, but not really grandfathered in because of the blackout restrictions. You can pay $99 and get the blackout lifted just for Braves games, or you can pay $200 and get every single game from every single team.
Yeah,
but the price right now is $19.99 per month just for Braves Vision itself.
Okay, so that's $20 added on to whatever you're paying right now. Okay.
A lot of Braves fans going to be unhappy, Carl, no matter how this goes.
Yes, that's not in addition to what you're already getting. So I don't know how many streaming services you have. I got them all, and I probably pay way too much. But this is another $20 that I'll have to pay to view these Brave games. So it's going to be interesting to see what the response is. And Dede, I'll say this as far as the Braves. Look, they're a day late and a dollar short on this. They're blockbuster. The Braves years ago could have gone this route, but with the regional sports networks, which were back when Bally's, which became FanDuel, they have slowly been eroding away. Everybody in the business saw this. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about in our business. And the Braves could have gotten in front of this 10 years ago and said, we're going to do our own thing. It's not like they didn't have the money, Mike. And they've got more money now. But all of a sudden, they've been forced to do their own thing. And so now it's like, okay, we got to get caught up. I don't know what it's going to look like. My guess is, and I've talked to some buddies that are, do Braves games on TV and all that. A lot of the same faces you're familiar with will probably be involved with this. But at the end of the day, you're going to be paying for something that for years, many of you paid zero for. And it's why you fell in love with the team. And so now, how much do you love the team? Do you love them enough to give them $120 or $140 a year? Or even more, depending on if you want the entire MLB package. And I'll say this. You get the whole MLB package, Mike, Dede, Oren. Are you watching Padre games now? You're not.
Dude, I grew up in New York. You couldn't pay me to watch the Mets. So to me, it's I don't know where we're going to go with this. We'll have to look at it. To Carl's point, I mean, I go to a couple of home games a year, about 6 to 10. But, I mean, I don't want the Braves to become like Atlanta United where I just watch the highlights.
Yeah.
But I mean, the viewing habits, everybody's got a breaking point, to Carl's point, with all this a la carte television and all the streaming. So I'm curious to see where and how this plays out, because they've got to get the price point right, to Oren's point.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Go ahead, Dede. What do you want to add?
No, I was going to say, I mean, and it kind of, because Yes Network, remember back in the day, that used to be one of those, for the Yankees and Knicks, all that. That used to be one of the platforms that at one point was on cable TV. Right. But now, they've moved to where, like, you can't get them unless you have some type of, to your point, Mike, earlier, it looks like you can get them on, like, DirecTV or Fubo. So I think that, it's going to be a situation where, like if you've got YouTube TV or Fubo or Apple TV, it's going to be a situation where I would imagine they do a deal with them. And then, you're probably going to have to pay, an extra 15, 20, $25 on top of what you're already paying for that app. to watch him.
Look, I'm mixed on this. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I have to get it. This is what we do. But man, I'm a little disappointed that a free product that was included with what I was already paying is now going to be in addition to. More on this today, guys. Again, it's Braves Vision. And you guys know this. And if you don't, we'll tell you. They don't pay us jack. I don't have to sit here and tell you that you need to get Braves Vision. I think it's a big decision for a lot of Braves fans. But I'll tell you, we've got a friend lives down the street. Mom is in her 90s now. Mm-hmm. She lives in one of these elderly homes, and she gets around great. She's just vibrant. She has watched every Braves game her entire life, from childhood here in Georgia all the way up to this point in her life. And I'm sure at the home where she's at, they're going to be able to get this service because there are people there watching TV and doing stuff. Mike, my point is, if they're not going to, it's interesting, those are the kind of people that have grown up on this. Right. And just like, our friends, their kids, similar, we're going to grandma's, and they were going to watch Braves games every night. That's what she did. And it's just like, okay, the Braves for the first time are taking that element away. All right, let's talk about Sale, man. He gets a 1-year extension. What'd you think, Mike?
I mean, look, tough year for everybody in the starting pitching staff, but a year removed from his Cy Young Award, it sounds about right. And again, this is kind of the way the Braves work. They're never going to drop the big check, but they do make some sound financial decisions. In the case of Sale, I mean, it sounds about right. Now, the question is, can he stay healthy? I mean, anytime anyone gets a year older, I mean, Father Time is undefeated. He's coming off a bit of a hiccup that was uncharacteristic. We were kind of worried about him trying to get back to start. Remember, at the end of last year, we just said shut it down. He did want to go and pitch at the end of the year. So hopefully he'll be okay because he is your number one, man, period.
2, 3, and 4, and 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys cool with it? You all right with this?
Yeah.
Day,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. One, I mean, it just gives you a little bit of comfort, a sense of comfort, I guess you would say, because we've already started the season off with two starting pitchers down. So, look, he showed that he still has a lot in the tank. So hopefully we have at least one reliable. We'll still be waiting to see what happens with Strider and Ronaldo. But if those three can hold things down and they can put together, a bullpen that can, just kind of hold things down for the rest of the other part of it, then maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hey, Hawks in action tonight against the Wizards. I know everybody's wondering if Trey is going to play. Rumor is he's not.
A video tribute, though, huh,
video? No tribute video?
That's good. I mean, look, no tribute video. He's not playing. He's not in uniform. He'll be in a sweatsuit with his TY gold and diamonds on. I mean, let him chill.
Cold piece of work, Carl Dukes.
When he comes back next year, okay, and he's in uniform, give him a nice tribute, 3 minutes, not 65, and say, hey, thank you, Trey. We love you. It was amazing. That's where we should be. But the main thing is you got to continue to win games, man. The Wizards aren't trying to win games, guys. The other night, they almost lost to a lesser opponent, and Jock Landale came on yesterday and said as much. We played down to our opponent. They can't do that again tonight, fellas, as they take on the lowly Wizards, Mike.
Right. No, like as we said, this is it's hard to wrap your head around just what exactly this team is supposed to be in the remaining games. We did find out that Jonathan Kuminga was seen at the practice facility at Emory dribbling and shooting basketball. So that is
questionable tonight.
So he's questionable for tonight.
Yeah, can we get Kuminga out there? Because I think, when we were really excited, it was everything we talked about. Can we still wait till the draft and go get the transformative pieces, but can we still try to make a run here this season without really having a point guard? I get it. There's some fundamental flaws to this team, and Reese Shea is just lost in space right now. But, yeah, first things first, I want to see how Jalen Johnson and Kuminga look on this floor for the 23 games we have left.
Well, real quick, we didn't talk about this yesterday, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on with Reese Shea. And I don't know if it's coaching, lack thereof. His playing time, obviously, has been cut. Now he's coming off the bench. And it doesn't look good, and Day from having the number 1 overall pick to a guy that was starting and at least looked the part with Trae Young last year, right? At times. Yeah. And went, okay, he has potential to dude, how are you regressing so much right now? What is going on there?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's a fact of or maybe it's just to the point that we have to maybe admit that they got it wrong with him. Maybe he needs more time to develop. I mean, I'm not trying to say it, to take anything away, but the reality of it is he's what, 19 years old, 20 years
20.
old?
Yeah, he's 20 now.
And maybe
21.
he just, I understand that he's played professionally in his country from a certain age, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to automatically translate to what he needs to be in the NBA. So the reality is maybe he actually needs a little more time to develop. And, unfortunately, the Hawks are kind of in a position where you kind of can bench him and let him, kind of really understand what's needed of him. He is, he's in an awkward position. He probably didn't necessarily, being a number one pick, and you guys have pointed this out, Oren, you pointed it out. He came in between two guys that were
generational.
Yeah, between Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg, here's the thing: 36% is the league average for three. He can't even shoot that. So he's giving you 32%. The minutes to Carl's point are going down. That whole draft class sucks, by the way. There's only like one or two guys that you can even recognize in the top 15.
Yeah.
So it's just a bad draft class. And hopefully, the good news is next year, it's a great draft class, Carl and Day-Day, for point guards, for big men, for everything. We could hopefully get in one-stop shopping.
Or June, should I say? Yeah, when the NBA Finals is over, this upcoming draft class is great. All right, man, we'll get into this today because it is interesting and it sucks because I think it's going to be another black eye potentially if this doesn't get better. That the Hawks screwed this up. You had other picks again.
But Sarr didn't want. You said it, but you pointed it out at the time. Sarr didn't want to come to Atlanta, so maybe and you couldn't trade out of the one. The 1 year you couldn't actually trade down to the one
because nobody wanted it.
And what's crazy is I know people are going to be like, no. The pick, in my opinion, at that time, the pick I felt like that should have been the number one pick for the Hawks in particular was Zach Edey. And now Memphis looks like they're ready to reset and build that franchise around him.
Right, but he wasn't considered a top pick, though. That's the thing. I mean, but you couldn't trade out of it.
That these guys don't always get it right.
Right. No, you couldn't trade out of it. Just like we would go get Micah Parsons instead of Kyle Pitts at 4, but no one had him slated as a top 5 guy. At the time. I'm with you. Edey's a good piece.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. All right, Hawks in action. We are in action at 2. Kevin Stefanski at 4. Make sure you tune in to find out what our head coach is talking about from the combine and filling this in on our franchise as the Falcons get ready for the upcoming draft.
And we got to play. Who knew that Kirby Smart, Carl, was Don Rickles? You see Kirby Smart going off? I mean, it was like zing, zing, zing. We'll play some of the shots. It's absolutely fantastic audio if you hadn't heard it.
Yeah, him and Mario Cristobal from Miami going back and forth. Look, these guys have a lot more personality than they let on. And this is why when you hear guys that have played for Nick Saban, he's not a jerk. When you hear guys that play for Bill Belichick, he's not a jerk. They actually have personality, and I think you saw a little bit more of that, what Mike's talking about. All right, that's on the way today, 2 o'clock. Make sure you're here with Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We'll talk to you guys then.